From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feathershare Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Featherchair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog.
I'm Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog. You know, when I get the hankering for a hot dog, I go to Cleveland, Texas. Just a couple blocks off the square, they got Loafing Dog. They got the Neely Dog, the Mary Sunshine Dog, the Casey Dog, and the Shirley Dog. Why, they even got the Pacer Dog, the Brooklyn Dog, and the Jim Dog. Can't forget the Shane Dog, or the Joy Dog, and the Monty Dog. I like that fool. The Nakia Dog and the Braxton Dog round things off. Why, they even got a kids menu too.
Loafing Dog, 208 East Chambers Street, Cleveland, Texas. Lunch, catering, or takeout, plus outdoor seating. Phone numbers 817-556-1040.
This is Wilford Brimley. And don't forget, Loafing Dog won't give you diabetes.
Out-of-date carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581.
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family-owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
Serving Johnson County, Texas, Joco Community Radio.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing wonderful on this wonderful Wednesday. It's hump day, right?
Yes.
I love it.
Camel.
Yes.
one hump or two.
It depends. How many do you want? All right. Well, anyway, this is
going.
I love it. I am Diana Roberts with EXP, the Cliff Freeman Group for Realty. And this is my co-host.
Jason Chandler with
Hey.
Infinity Mortgage in Burleson.
Yeah. So if you have any lending needs, definitely reach out. If you have any real estate needs, reach out to either one of us. We're here to help. So today we're talking about mental health awareness. Now, I understand that May was the mental health awareness month. However, I don't feel like it's something we don't need to keep continuing to talk about. And I don't think in May we really actually touched base on this, Jason. So we need to, right?
Yeah, we're a little late,
We're a
but
little late.
but there's a lot of mental health stuff going out there, people stressing and stuff. So no, it needs to be repeated.
I agree.
We need to bring it up to everybody to calm down in this industry. It's gonna be all right.
Yes, exactly. And things have kind of changed a little bit, but I honestly feel that COVID took a big role in the increase in mental health. I really do. And I think in real estate, while it's still been booming and it still took its toll on agents. You know what I mean? Like it still was very overwhelming. It caused a lot of stress and anxiety, especially stress and anxiety with everybody involved in the real estate transaction, the agents, the lenders, the sellers and buyers. I mean, don't you agree?
Oh, I remember hearing sellers going, well, we don't want anybody in our house.
Yeah.
Well, kind of hard to sell a house when you don't let people come and look at it, right?
Yes.
I mean, I know a few people just buy without going, but yeah, I could see that as a big problem. Sellers were scared. They didn't want people with COVID in their house.
Yeah. And virtual tours actually became huge around that time frame. So that I feel put a lot of more induced stress on the agents too, because it just depends. It depends on the agent. A lot of agents will pay for that for their clients, and then there are agents that put that in within their commission. So which is understandable, right? I do feel though that was a really rough, because even just going through a virtual tour, it's not the same as being present in the property. It's not. So I completely agree with you. That was very stressful in being an agent. And I can only imagine in being buyers and sellers too, in not wanting somebody to see your house and the buyers like, well, I got to see the house. So, and then it was also not having the inventory, right?
Oh yeah.
So and then it was having the multiple offer situation where there was the inventory, but it was just multiple offer after multiple offer. And these buyers weren't able to purchase that property that they really wanted because there were so many people wanting the same property and putting way more out there for the property. So
Oh.
that was huge.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's just it was the perfect storm. You know, you've got something coming from the west and something coming from the east. Just boom. You've ever seen the movie The Perfect Storm?
Oh,
where
yeah.
the three of them come together, and
Yeah.
people felt like they were on the boat out there on that movie. Just
Yeah.
oh my god, what's going on?
Sinking ship.
Yeah, yeah. But it didn't sink.
No, it didn't.
It didn't sink, and there's been a lot of good stuff happening. But you're right, the amount of stress that it caused just trying to buy a home or sell a home. Yeah, pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I feel like we should definitely take the steps to be able to prevent this from continuing to occur, right? So in finding those, because like depression and anxiety have increased significantly in today's culture due to financial woes and stress, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, the multiple offers, like we were saying, and the limited inventory as well, rates, roller coastering can for sure add increase, or it can also induce stress and anxiety to all the people that are involved in the transaction.
Yeah, yeah. When you hear higher rates, everybody goes negative. And what's the negative on a higher rate? Well, let's say a $350,000 house back in January and February, where you could get 3.5%. That payment would have been like $1,257 conventional, doing 20% down. Well, now that you're in the 5.5, that difference is about $332. So a 2% change caused a $332 increase in monthly payments.
Right.
So that does cause some stress. That takes some people where they were already they're maxed out, at their debt ratio at the 3.5. It's pushed them into lower tiers, lower sales price options. But what did the higher rates do? I mean, let's look at the positive. If we're going to sit there and stress on the negative, what have they done? These higher rates have done something to our inventory.
Right.
It's increased our inventory. It settled the whole. I sat there and wondered in January and February. I was like, how high is a 1,500 square foot home going to go, where people can sell it for? You'd see, 375, 400. It's like, what's going on?
Right.
And how high is this going to go? So the rates did kind of settle that down, where you're seeing time on market and, it being better, for the buyer, maybe helping where it's not just a seller's market. So the rates, the inflation is just kicking the tar out of everybody, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Not just buying a home, but trying to buy groceries, that kind of stuff. So it is, and it's not going to stop, but it's already made a difference. You just see by increasing interest rates since they started doing like in March. So,
and that's been years and years of already ongoing stuff that's been occurring anyway, right? From the beginning of lending and mortgage payments and rates. I mean, all of this has been, it's always gone up or down, right? I mean, so a lot of times it was more before, wasn't it more higher than it was lower for a while?
Oh yeah. Yeah. There was a time, I mean, when we look at 3% rates and everybody sits around going, well, we need to get back to 3%, then I'll buy again. Well, what are you hoping for? Another case of COVID to shut the country down? Those were not realistic rates.
No.
They went that low because COVID happened, and it was the only thing the government could do that was positive. Because everything else in 2020 was negative once we figured it out. Everything was shut down. It was like, well, what's positive? Well, rates are low. So, but it was not a realistic time. If you bought during that time, refinanced during that time, well, you took advantage of it.
Yeah.
Good for you, but let's get realistic.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, but the rates are going up, and yes, that is like, oh, well, that's increasing payments. But also with these rates going up, it's stopped the number of buyers in the market. It's increased the inventory, so the prices are starting to level out.
Yeah.
That's why we're saying just shooting up to the moon stopped. And now you see I see reduced offers. How about you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm sorry, for a while there, I think we went a year without seeing a reduced offer.
We sure did not at that time. Yeah.
Who had to reduce an offer? I mean, if you saw it, it was like, man, that agent must have really overlisted that property for I mean, what were they thinking?
And sometimes it's not always the agent.
No,
sometimes it could be the seller.
Sometimes you are a stubborn seller. Says, no matter what you tell me, I know my house will sell for this. Well,
right.
Okay, good luck with that. But yes, you're right. You have to work. Hey, the seller's the customer's the boss. So
yeah, I just wanted to point that out because sometimes it's not always, the agent, and a lot of times the buyer's like, well, what's wrong with this agent? I would never use this agent. It's like, wait a minute, hold up. Let's retract that, because a lot of times, we as the agent, we are the professional that's helping assist in in them selling their house. It is their house ultimately. And so we have to go based off of what they want. And when they see these increased prices in their area, even though we're showing them a difference between some of the houses, maybe they have a lot more updates and that's why they're asking for a little bit more. Even though we're showing them a lot of times they still want to believe that they can still get that amount. And that's nothing against them. I mean, hey, if you're going to try to take advantage, but again, we have to be, for me, I try to be as professional as possible in saying, hey, honestly, this is not realistic. If you really want to list it at this price, we will. But I'm going to tell you right now, in 2 weeks, if we don't see, a whole lot of people coming in and looking at it, we might want to reevaluate and rethink that number and maybe come down off that number a little bit.
Yeah, so you advise them.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, the
it's their decision.
The seller, just like they decide which offer to take, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the agent that decides.
Right.
You go back and you tell them, hey, look at this offer. The seller makes the decision, right?
Absolutely.
Ultimately, so yeah, no, it's on the sellers, not the agent.
Yeah, that's right. Not all the time, but yeah.
Didn't mean to imply the other.
It's okay. It's all right. But that's what this show is for. It's for us to educate, the consumers and educate other agents, even other lenders. That's why we're here, so
Sure.
that we can help identify some of the things that we're all going through, but maybe not really speaking out and talking about. And that's why this is one of the topics that I felt that would be really necessary and important for us to reach out and talk to everyone about, because I know even within my own self, and I'm sure with you too, when we were going through all of these things and the transitioning of everything, and now it's kind of like slowing down a little bit. So that can really cause a lot of undue stress and anxiety, even for us as the lender and the agent, and knowing how to not allow that to, be put on our clients is essential. That's how we keep clients, right?
Oh, yes. You have to I'm sorry, you have to be somewhat of an actor
Yeah.
in this game. I mean, you've got to be the duck in water, right? You look calm as can be, and underneath, your feet are moving, 1,000
You're
miles an
swimming like a
hour.
dog in
Yeah.
water for the first time.
But no one knows it. But that's how you have to be as a lender.
Yeah.
That's how you have to be, especially as the agent, when you're sitting there in a market that's still leaning towards the sellers, where there has to be patience, and contracts being accepted. Hey, I know this one didn't work out, but we're getting closer.
Right.
All you can do as an agent is do the things that, like, have you taken them through? Have they been completely approved, through your lender, so you can be waiving stuff like financing periods? Or have you done everything you can to advise your client on, hey, we need to be set up like this,
Right.
so that we can go in offering the most attractive offer. And if you've done that, and that's, you're explaining to them step by step, hey, this is going to give you the best chance. We have to do this, this, and this. Then all you can do is, if you've covered all the bases, then you have to stay calm and be patient.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And focused. I feel like, as an agent and even as a lender, when you're calm and focused, that's what's really going to help you conduct the business with your client in the best way possible, that is going to help them stay calm and focused too on the prize, right? Because ultimately they're looking to us to help them calm down sometimes. Like, we're also not just, an actor or actress, but we're also sometimes even a counselor or a life coach or whatever you want to call it, because we're also helping and coaching them through the process, right? So I like to look at more as like a life coach, but as a real estate coach instead, right? You're a real estate coach or a lending coach. So we're coaching them, we're helping them get through the process without having these mental health issues, as well as us not having these mental health issues as well.
Oh yeah. And then who are you talking to? I mean, it, from the lender standpoint, there's a lot of times I'm sitting there, and then I'll get questions and calls or emails from, I'm going to say it's from the wife.
Yeah.
This time. Okay. Just picking a male or female.
Right.
It could be either one. And the wife has these questions, and I'll be like, well, Miss Smith, you seem kind of stressed about this. What's going on? Well, it's not me, it's my husband. But he wants me to ask, not you. So I was like, so you feel fine with this? You're not stressed, but he is. But you're having to go to me, get the answers, and go back and give to him. So you're the third party. All right, you're in the middle ground trying to calm someone who's really stressed out, and you're trying to pass on everything exactly like I said.
Yeah. That's just a struggle.
Let's either get him on the phone or tell him to call me directly. Let him be the one, so that we're talking, I'm talking directly to him instead of you trying to tell him, calm down. This is what, Jason said this time or that. Because, in translation, it's hard. You can tell me something, I turn around and tell someone, and it's like, it changed at least a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly, it's not the same as hearing it directly. So make sure you're dealing, or as an agent, when you keep getting calls from one of the husbands calling you. Well, what, you seem stressed over this. Well, it's not me, it's my wife.
Yeah.
Well, I need to be talking to her. Let's put the person that's stressed with the real estate professional.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let them talk directly, or do it on conference or in person, whatever.
Yes.
But don't have the person that's stressed sitting there going, ask this, ask that. And because the interpretation is never going to be the same as getting it directly from the real estate professional.
Absolutely.
So that itself could help.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Especially as an agent, I really like to be in front of my people when they have these kinds of concerns or stress or questions. A lot of times it's sometimes even hard to have that conversation with them over the phone, even if it's a conference call, I found. So, really being in person sometimes can really make a huge difference because now they're feeling your calmness and you not stressing about the situation. They're actually feeling it because you're there, you're present. And yeah, sometimes they can feel it through the phone. I get that. But a lot of times there's a lot more that they're feeling in person. And then it's a lot more personable too, because you're making it a point to, hey, let's meet up. Let's all three have coffee and we'll talk about this and work this out, you know, and then pay for their coffee. You know,
Oh yeah.
I mean, why not? I feel like a lot of times that would be just very beneficial. Plus, you can get some laughing going on and get everybody feeling a lot more comfortable and they're relaxed and they're sitting in a coffee shop. And, I mean, that could be huge.
Well, and that's a positive that you talked about. When did mental freaking out and all that, and everybody getting depressed and angry and all that. It started to really heighten with COVID.
Yeah.
And then people couldn't do that. They didn't want to meet face to face because of the fear of that. Well, we really don't have that anymore.
No.
If people want to wear a mask, they can wear a mask.
Yeah, absolutely.
No big deal. But at least you don't have that now. Now it's like, hey, let's meet. And most people are going to be receptive to being like, yeah, when can you meet? Well, sometimes it's after hours. Well, that's part of this business is, we work when people aren't working, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah. So you just got to, and that was another thing I was going to point out too, is your scheduling. So okay, so I know a lot of what was going on and taking place was very overwhelming for a lot of us too. And I'm talking about those that are working in this industry, right? Like the agents and the lenders. It was very overwhelming because there was a lot happening. It was a lot more fast paced. And I felt for those new agents that just came on board that had no idea what was going on, didn't even got to experience this just first off, like right out. And, I mean, if you got through it, you're awesome. You're going to do great and excel in this industry. However, if you didn't, might not be the right industry for you because it can be very fast paced. But this was the most fast paced I've ever felt it since I've been in real estate. And I know that that was very overwhelming and could definitely overwhelming can cause even it can induce stress, right?
mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
so when you're overwhelmed, what are some things that you do that kind of help you to de-stress and not allow yourself to get overwhelmed?
Well, when it's all hitting me in the office.
He's like, man, you got me good with good
You
questions.
got me good. Yeah. Not talking about after hours, are we?
No,
No,
okay. I mean, if you
okay.
want to talk about that's fine too.
No, I don't know. No, I mean there are times where
Now you got us all curious though. I'm just saying. Okay, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I know. You gotta be careful here. No, but there are times when you kind of have a plan, and you want to have a plan every day, but you come into the office, someone comes in unannounced. Well, you're not going to kick a client out of your office.
No.
No one does that. Oh, we didn't have an appointment. Come back later. You don't do that. So of course you're sitting there with them. Well, that might have kicked a meeting, that you had, or a call that you had planned, and in the meantime, 3 other people have called it. It's a good problem to have, but it's a lot of things all at once.
Yes.
And 3 clients need to get pre-approved real quick. Plus, you had this important call you're supposed to have. So what do you do? Well, sometimes it's like get up and just walk around a building or something. Go walk around your vehicle. If you're at an office, if you're at your house, get up and go check the mailbox. Even though the mail's probably not there, just get away from it for a minute.
Absolutely.
Leave your phone in the house, or just walk away. Just breathe. I hate breathing more than anything, and I'm not one of those relaxed people. And hey, I love it when people do the relaxation exercises. I think that's so cool.
Like this girl.
Yeah, I bet you do. You could
I
tell.
do.
I'm not saying I do that, but I just put everything down, walk out the front door of the office, and just walk with nothing in my hand, no kind of electronics, and just let's breathe a second, and then kind of, okay, this is what I'm going to do when I walk back in there. So that's a short-term deal.
Right.
Of, hey, walk away from the fire for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's getting too hot, just walk away from it and then come back to it with a level head. And just a few minutes, 5 minutes of walking away and getting away from it, you can be like, oh, okay, this is not that bad.
Yeah.
It was all hitting me, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? That simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you go into more detail about the breathing exercises and yoga and all that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
exercise, right?
Oh, absolutely. Exercise, that was going to be one that I was going to point out is, really and truthfully, to reset our mind, we need to find something that is peaceful for us. Everybody's going to have their own different way of overcoming that endued stress that just occurred because of some work stuff that just got really overwhelming, right? Everybody's going to have their own thing. I love the walking away and just giving yourself a break for a minute, even if somebody shows up in your office. Hey, go ahead and have a seat. If you could just give me 5 minutes, I'll be right back. And then that way you can go get level headed, like you were saying, and then come back to that client and say, okay, now that I've got all that worked out in my head, you're not going to tell them that, but you're saying that to yourself. Now that I got this all worked out in my head, I can sit down with this client, get this figured out and not rushing, but also, still trying to maintain my schedule as best as possible. Cause schedule is everything in our line of industry, or in our industry. Scheduling and maintaining somewhat of what you can in your schedule is huge.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's really where we can do as much as we can to prevent a lot of that overwhelming feeling. But again, it's like you said, you're getting calls. There's so many distractions.
It keeps you calm because you're prepared. The
Yeah.
more prepared you are, the calmer you are, the less stressed you are.
Absolutely.
It's like for a test or anything. If you didn't study, if you didn't study good, you're stressed when that teacher starts handing out that test. Same thing with meeting with somebody.
Yeah.
If it's on the fly and it's all of a sudden, I didn't even review this or that, then you're on the fly, and then maybe the biggest problem with that is maybe when you are sitting there and having a conversation, whether it's face to face or even on the telephone, you could find yourself not listening because your head's rattling around. You got the hamster up there and it's going way too fast, and you got to slow that buddy down.
Yeah.
Because then you're doing a disservice by not really listening to your client. Because that's where, if your client has issues, has questions that they might not come out and ask, or concerns, if you're listening to what they're saying,
Yeah.
they'll tell you where they have reservations, what scares them, where they're a little hesitant at, but you have to listen. So you have to blank out that other stuff and concentrate. And again, it's hard to do, but you've got to find a way to clear your head, and scheduling is the best way. Be prepared for that meeting, phone, in person, whatever, but that way you can give your customer your undivided attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings me to a point too for us as well. Cause okay, so at least for agents and lenders maybe too, but already having houses, like kind of, already doing the research and already having houses that in your area so that you already know about them. And if you have a client that calls you, a buyer that calls you, hey, you know what? I was actually looking at this house yesterday. Now you already have that you've already done your research, you already have done your homework basically. And so now you have a house that you already have lined up for this buyer and they just called you. How much time do you think that's going to take away? And how impressive do you think that's going to come off with the buyer, right? So even scheduling some research time, I feel. And that was from Josh Altman, by the way, who is on Million Dollar Listing. He has a book out and I'll have to look it up because I can't remember what it's called right now. But but I've been listening to it on Audible and it's great. If you're an agent, absolutely, I suggest it, highly suggest it. It's really good stuff. But I do feel that having that already mapped out and knowing what houses are available in your area of where your expertise is, now you've got an upper hand when the buyer contacts you too. So that also helps too. And on lending side, I'm sure there's something.
Well, hopefully when you're meeting with that buyer, if you're going to show them homes, hopefully they've been pre-qualified.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I always check with that first.
Yeah. Because if they're not pre-qualified and you're like, but you're going to love this $400,000 house, then you come and find out, they're 275 is their max. And it's like, oh my God, I just showed them a bunch of homes.
Yeah.
But that's more the preparedness, right?
Right.
You made sure they're pre-qualified.
Absolutely.
And then hopefully even actually pre-approved, when it's time to go look. But no, when we have that first conversation, when they're pre-qualified for this amount, then yes, now you're showing them your reality.
Right.
Here's what's really in the market for this sales price. But
Absolutely.
look at this. I think you might like this, and that's yes.
Yeah.
Now you're showing them what could become reality, and there goes kind of that tension. They see it. They can now see it happening, and yeah, very important.
Oh, absolutely. No, I 100% agree with that, because you got to think about it too. Like, if you want to cause more stress in your life, that would be showing a buyer a property that you don't even know that they can afford yet. That is a waste of their time, a waste of your time, 100%. So if you're a new agent, make sure 100% that first question when you have a buyer that contacts you that's looking for a property, make sure that they have a lender and they are pre-qualified, and find out that amount that they are pre-qualified from. And talk to their lender. If it's a lender that you haven't given to them, definitely do that too. So hey guys, we're going to go to a quick break, but we will be back shortly. Stay tuned. We'll see you in just a little bit.
At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company. Much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material. Great for one-of-a-kind gifts, home decor, business and specialty items, or personalized and logo designs created just for you or your company. Allow us to become your go-to gift and specialty project partner. Romika Designs can help make your ideas a reality. We're ready to help you design and create that special gift for any occasion, or engrave your personal or business logo on just about any product. View our designs at romikadesigns.com, or simply email us with your ideas. We specialize in custom design, and we'd be honored to have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Serving Johnson County, Texas, Joco Community Radio.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So, Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The Joco Community Radio app is now available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to our Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, one of my good friends, at 844-839-4245. All right, we are back for officially. So we were talking about, what were we talking about? Oh my gosh, no. I'm just kidding. We started talking about something else. Being prepared. Yes, like I was right now.
Unlike you were.
Unlike I was. I've got my prepare right here, but I was like, oh wait, where did I leave off? Okay. So we were talking about being overwhelmed and some things that you can do to help reduce the overwhelming feelings. And there's just so much you can do with that, right? You were talking to me about what I do, right?
Yeah.
And I do meditation. I like to wake up and do my meditation. I go work out. So my schedule actually starts now. Look, this does not mean because I'm up to start calling me.
At what time? 4 in the morning?
Oh no! Oh Lord, no, that's too early. No, 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 no. But I get up at 6 o'clock every morning, or a little before 6 a.m., and I go and do a workout. Now that I'm back able to do that, I've definitely been going every morning as much as possible. Not too. I don't want to overdo it, so I have been skipping some days. But anyway, if I do skip days, I'm definitely doing my meditation and some movements. Just even if you're just doing some stretching, right? Even just stretching, your body needs that anyway. It definitely loosens you up if you are stressing or stretching, sorry, but definitely stressing too.
No, the stressing tightens you.
Yeah, it does.
It's like lifting weights or something.
Right.
It's
So when you de-stress, that's a good way to just loosen your whole entire body, relax your body, and also stretching your body. Stretching your body and then relaxing it is huge, I feel, and would be a definite suggestion from me to everybody out there. If you are stressing, even if it's not real estate related, even if you are stressing, this is a very good tool to use to de-stress yourself.
absolutely.
And breathing. Learn how to breathe. So when I learned how to breathe, and I say this on my positivity toolbox show, but when I learned how to breathe, it actually really helped me start living my best life. Does that sound crazy?
Yeah.
It's so true though. Because you know why? When you learn how to breathe through any emotion or obstacle in your life and you just breathe through it and let it go, wow. Talk about you're smiling, you're living your best life, and you're good again. I mean, it's just like that. We hold on to these things for what reason, I don't know. I used to, but I don't anymore. But when you hold on to these things like so tight, it wounds you up and you just keep winding yourself up. Right?
Yeah.
So to de-wind yourself, you got to let it go, man. I know I sound like a hippie right now, and probably Matthew McConaughey.
Just let it go.
Just let it go.
You might be too young. Smoking the Bandit. You probably don't remember that with Burt Reynolds and all them back there, right?
Okay, so I have heard of it,
All right.
but I don't think I ever got to be so like I lived in Germany for so many years too.
Oh, okay.
I think I missed out on a lot of that. But go ahead.
Well,
talk to us.
Just real short. He was in a Trans Am and he had the law after him, right?
Right.
He's going across the country. Anyway, the sheriff was Jackie Gleason. I don't know if anybody remembers that guy, but he to calm down. Anytime someone would say the bandit, he would go, and start breathing and stuff because you'd almost have a heart attack. The guy just set him off that bad, so he would like breathe and say "om."
Yeah.
So stuff like that, yeah,
it's huge. That is huge. I do the om.
You om.
I do the om.
But it's got to be a deep om.
Yes. Well, not necessarily. I mean, it can be any pitch you want it to be, really. It's just a matter of what your breathing will bring the pitch to where it needs to be.
I see.
Yeah. So,
okay.
In that sense, I would say.
Cool.
But yeah, so like that's another way of just breaking away from the overwhelmingness. And the gym, doing something you like. When you need to reset your mind. Like, and that means really getting away, like pushing your phone, pushing everything out. Because I will tell you right now, if you are not in a good state of mind, mentally, emotionally, physically, you're not producing what your clients need. You're not providing them anything but what you're feeling and your emotions, believe it or not, but we are all made of energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our energy, when we have that kind of energy, it gets pushed on to the person that we're in front of or that we're on the phone with even. Like I said, they can feel it through the phone. So maybe not as strongly, but they can still feel it through the phone. If you're stressed out and you're like going 90 miles an hour, do you think that person is really going to want to work with you?
Probably not.
No. So you need to calm down. I have to remind myself of this too. Trust me. There are times where I was trying to do a million things at once. And I honestly told a client on the phone, I was like, okay, can you hold on just 1 second? Hold on. I just need to sit here and stop doing what I was doing because it was very distracting. So I'm going to sit here. I'm going to get my pen and pencil and we're going to go over all this together. Okay.
There
And you
you go.
know how much that meant to the client? Because I actually took the time to realize, oh my gosh, okay, what am I doing? I'm going 90 freaking miles an hour. And I just need to sit down and calm down and listen to my client.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
Yeah.
You're exactly. You can't have other stuff in your mind if you're going to do your true job as a
Right.
business professional. You got to be able to shut out everything else except what your client's talking about.
Yeah.
And that takes, whatever
Absolutely.
it takes to get your mind right around that, because you'll miss something important, and it'll turn out that it could save you time. What if you're not listening to your client and they point out something about a house, but they're real subtle about it? Where if you're not listening right, it's kind of in one ear out the other. Yeah, yep, I hear you. And then 3 more homes you've looked at, and then what? All of a sudden, she comes up. Well, I told you 4 homes ago I didn't like this, and you're like, oh no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
See, I mean,
Yeah.
one sentence that you miss from your client, and yeah, total stress.
And being honest. Like I was honest with my client. I was very honest. Like, look, I'm so sorry. For some reason, I just felt the need to be doing 90 things at one time when I really just need to be sitting here listening to you. So I'm sitting down now. I've got my pen and paper ready. Let's really break this down. Okay.
Yep.
Just being honest with people that's all we're really looking for is honesty and listening. Like you were saying, really listening. And we can't do that if we've got so many things going on.
Impossible.
Yeah, it is. It's impossible.
Yeah.
I've learned the hard way.
It's like going to be on this radio show.
Yes.
Besides, if I try to think of something else and I'm not focused on it, think about that, then it'd be like, what? What are we talking about? I mean,
Yes.
yeah. So, I mean, it should all be like you're sitting there looking at each other, whether it's on the phone or whatever, and everything else is out.
Yeah.
Except what's going on right here and now. So,
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get your mind in that state, preparedness to listen.
Yeah. I like to call it being present.
Being present.
Being present. Just be present in the moment. And there are times sometimes, like, I'm not going to lie, I have ADHD. I really do. I have adult ADHD. I have been diagnosed. I am not just throwing this out here. So, anyway,
Okay.
so a lot of times that's where a lot of my squirrel moments come from.
Understandable.
So I really have to really work on focusing. I really have to work on being aware that is my brain, and I need to tell my brain, hey, not right now. We're trying to do something and we need to focus. Okay. So we're going to focus. And so it's just retraining your brain too. And even if you haven't been diagnosed with it, if you're, so how I got diagnosed with it was I was so bad about really hearing people and listening to people, because my head would go through like 9 million files at one time while this person was talking to me. And I missed the whole conversation because I was already in all these different files just based off of one thing that they said.
Yeah.
It's just one key word. And reading was a huge deal. It would take me 10 times to read a sentence to actually comprehend it. It's terrible.
No, but no,
Yeah.
that's an issue.
It is an issue.
Have you ever been to like a marketing event? In real estate, we're all famous for this, after hours events. Let's all get together, network.
Mhm.
Well, sometimes you go to a place where the music's so loud you can't hear, and you're sitting there talking to someone else, and they're acting like they're listening. They can hear what you say, and they're going, yeah, shaking their head, and you're doing the same, yeah, and you're not even hearing what each other's saying, and it's, I learned from that point. Not saying I don't go, because hey, there's drinks, there's food, it's fun,
Right.
but I don't fully expect to build a business relationship of someone that I meet, or I'm meeting for the second or third time, and I can't hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's where you've got to set it. If you're looking at, well, I've got to get more business. If what's causing you stress is there's not enough business out there, okay, I've got to get out here and talk to some clients, or talk to this person about referring clients, this source, whatever. Well, it doesn't need to be an after hours at a sports bar or something where there's a lot of noise. It needs to be where you can really sit there and talk, and maybe that's where that cup of coffee or something lunch comes in, because that's important, because people are like, yeah, I do. I network. I do, network and all that. Yeah, I went to this after hours last night, and, this one 2 days ago. I was like, oh yeah. Can you recall any of your conversations, but except for people you really know already?
Right. No.
And it's like, no, did you really meet somebody, that's going to help you get more business?
Yeah.
Or that you can team up with? No, you didn't.
No.
If you're a realtor, what if there's a lender with new products that you could be sit there and, oh my God, if I'd known about these products, there's 4 people that I could call right now and say, hey, we can get you. I've got a lender with a program for you. If you're sitting there and the music's blaring and the lender's telling you about that and you don't hear it, there you go. You just lost opportunity, potential 4 clients plus whatever referrals they'd give you in the future. I mean, I don't know what the mathematics is, but it comes out to a lot of potential people.
Right.
So be in a position, not just to have your mind right, but where you can actually hear.
Oh, I 100% agree with you on that.
Because I used to, I was in younger years, oh yeah, I did network last night. Took a bunch of realtors out, and yeah, but we were all watching a football game and stuff, and screaming and stuff's going on. Yeah, they had a good time.
Right.
Everybody had a good, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I'm all for
no.
that. Hey, I love that. Don't get me wrong, but that's not where you're going to build.
Business.
Explain to them how you can be a valuable team member.
Yeah.
To try to help them get more business, and what can you offer, to put in their tool belt. So just a thought.
No, I completely agree with that. And I think that if you are going to want to meet new people, like in that kind of a setting, the best thing that I do is, hey, let me get your business card and we'll set up a coffee date or something and we'll talk about that. Because like you said, you can't hear them. And I already have ADHD issues. So, I do have things that I do to help me with that so that it's not as bad, of course. That's why I'm able to sit here and listen to you and talk to you here on the radio.
You do very good.
Well,
Very
thank
proud
you.
of you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And stay focused on the job and do what I can too on that end as well. Of course, I still have squirrel moments, don't get me wrong, but especially if you hear me go hold on, because I'm trying to get that word out.
Yeah.
Brain's going 100 miles an hour. Slow down. I'd be getting a speeding ticket up there like all the time. I swear.
Yeah. You and those tickets. Wow.
Me and those tickets. Oh yeah. We don't want to talk about that. All right. So one of the other things that I really wanted to talk about too is making our mental health a priority. Should be a priority to reduce stress and anxiety in this market. Right? Does that make sense?
Sure.
I wrote that down. So like now that I'm saying it out loud, it makes sense, but I feel like I kind of twisted the words maybe a little. Okay. So basically what I'm saying though is your mental health should be a priority. You need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And that applies to everybody out there. Whether you're an agent, a lender, it does not matter. Your mental health is very important. And there's always been mental health issues out there. Don't get me wrong. We see it a lot more predominantly right now.
Problems have been around since the beginning of time.
Absolutely.
People used to not talk about them. That's
No.
what people are willing. And sometimes I think, sometimes it could be a little too much. Sometimes like, okay, well, it's not really a problem. It's a small issue. I mean, you shouldn't get so upset, but you can't tell someone how to feel.
Absolutely not.
If even if it's the smallest thing, if it's affecting them, then hey, it needs to be dealt with if they're going to be productive. Say they're in this industry,
right?
So yes, you've got to get yourself physically and mentally there.
Absolutely.
And before you get in, I was at a conference in Southern California in like May of 2018. And this is common sense, but I heard it from somebody that I was there to listen to. And when it really hit me, I mean, it just made me stop. Is he said, you can sit there and you can plan your business out, do the perfect strategy, have everything, your referral getting program, your exercise, everything could be right there. But if you don't get your personal life and your personal relationships, if they're not in a healthy state, then you're not going to be successful or nearly as successful as you can. You will not be able to implement your plan, your business plan like you want to, if you're sitting there in a negative situation. And your boy hit me right then at that time, what I was going through. And I was like, wow. So I've got to get, some personal stuff, relationships and stuff dealt with, or I'm never going to be able to fully, be successful in business the way I want to.
Absolutely.
What I see is a big picture plan. So yes, get yourself right. Not just exercise, not just breathing and all this and that, but to get your relationships right. And that doesn't mean get rid of people necessarily. What that does mean is figure out how to, if you're in relationships that are stressing you out, let's figure out if there's a way. What can we do not to? And I'm by no means a counselor or anything. I'm just saying, just figure out whatever it takes on there. Get your personal self right, because you wake up every morning, you want to wake up happy. It's hard to be positive, all that, if you're waking up not happy.
Yeah.
So you got, attitude, right?
Oh, it's all attitude. Everything is all attitude.
Yeah.
And I like what you said, but I do want to hit on happy, because happiness is an emotion and it does come and go. So really joy is what we want and what we strive for in our life. Right? Sorry, this might be my positivity toolbox life coaching coming out now.
I told you I didn't know what I was talking about. I just
No, but you're good.
feeling good, I guess is what
you want to feel joy all the time, because regardless if you start feeling sad all of a sudden, that's temporary. All these emotions that come into play, they're all temporary. If a client is upsetting you, that's temporary. It doesn't have to stay. It can go. Like I said earlier, you just let it go. But I love what you said about having your family life and having your relationships in order. Because honestly, and not necessarily in order either, because nothing really in life is in order. It can be chaotic
I didn't
sometimes.
say perfect.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, it's not going to be.
But full of joy.
Yes.
To let there be joy in your relationship, your personal relationship, so that that you can then focus on, hey, a good business.
Yeah. And if you're right, not right as in right or wrong. I mean, if your mind is right and you're in a joyful, happy, mindset, or just joyful mindset, in a positive mindset, you would be surprised how that's going to shift the other people around you. It really does. There's a huge shift that starts to occur when we realize that we are in control of our emotions, nobody else. Nobody can control your emotions but you. You are in control of that.
Makes sense.
Right? So, in that sense, if even if things around your family aren't going right, and we can't change anybody, but we can change ourselves, right? So, not in wanting to change anybody, but if you start changing who you are and what you're wanting to do and what you're wanting to accomplish, like what he was saying, like what Jason's saying here, is if you get you right and your mind right, and you have all the things around you start looking more positive, then all of your business will start excelling increasingly. It's amazing how this really works. And if you want more on this, listen to Positivity Toolbox on Mondays at 9 a.m. to 10.
Absolutely.
But I love that. And I do feel that's a huge mental health thing that needs to be addressed for sure.
Because that goes back to stress, right?
Absolutely.
If you're stressed personally, then you're all, why can't I get my business plan going? Like, I've got this, I've been working, I've got it all scheduled, but you're not right, because there's stress, and sometimes there's positive stress.
Yeah.
It can get you like, hey, I got to make some money. I got to pay some bills. That's not negative. It's like, hey, or I've got long-term, I want to put kids through college or whatever. That's positive stress. That's, it's not all negative, but if you've got a lot of negative stress around you, from a personal standpoint, you're never going to fully get your business going like you want it to. No. So get right on the personal side. And
yes,
what we got?
I love it. Okay. So I love that as well. And then one of the other things that I wanted to touch base on too is, so more individuals right now are working from home, right? And I feel that being at home sometimes so much, especially us, right? We can work from home. We don't necessarily have to go to the office, right? So if we're not going to the office, sometimes we can cause bad habits, and I don't want to even say bad habits, negative. Let's say negative habits that are not so I always feel like this in life, right? If it complicates your life, let it go. If it complements your life, keep it,
Okay.
right? So
Complicates, get rid of it, let go.
yeah,
Yep.
compliments, keep it.
Absolutely.
If it's bringing joy to your life, keep it. If it's not bringing joy to your life, let it go. So in that sense, and Josh Altman, I'm going to go back to his book too about this, because if we're working from home all the time, there's so many more distractions. I go through this myself. There are so many more distractions that can occur. But Josh Altman said, go sit at Starbucks with your laptop and order a coffee and sit there and work. You would be surprised how many people come up to you and ask you what you do for a career, and have your cards available or digital. I use digital cards because it makes me get their number then right there on the spot. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I love those. I love those because it talks about me. They can go on all my social media pages just with one click on my little digital business card that I sent out to them. It's great. It's great. It works for me. But do what works for you, right?
Yeah.
However, like that could cause less stress too, because guess what? You're taking yourself and putting yourself in a different atmosphere.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you're not expecting to get business, when you don't sit down going, well, boy, I'm expecting business to pop up in the next 10 minutes. You're there, but you're out in the public.
Yeah.
Away from the isolation of your house.
Uh-huh. Or office. Even office.
Or even office.
Yeah,
Yes. That
absolutely.
office, just because that office can also, for me, because I go to the office almost every day.
Mhm.
Even though you're right, I could sit there and work from the house. I don't do that for the most part. Very seldom do I do that.
Right.
Just because I want to be, because I can, my thoughts can drift somewhere else.
Yeah.
I might keep a TV on,
Yeah.
people keep you honest. People keep you honest around there.
Yeah.
And you know what? And this is, I was working with one of the realtors, a very successful realtor here in Burleson, and she told me, she said that although she could, of course, work from the house, that she preferred to go to the office.
Yeah.
And she told the people under her that always ask her, well, how are you so successful? She's like, don't stay at home, get dressed and go to the office.
Yeah.
We're meant to talk to people. We're meant to be around other people, especially imagine being around positive agents every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Where they can get together and tell you success stories. Well, I just did this and this. I just sold this. I got this buyer. How'd you get this buyer? I was at Starbucks, sitting there, order my Frappo, whatever,
Frappuccino,
whatever you guys do. And here comes
do the caramel macchiato.
Yeah, see
There you
all
go.
that stuff. It just sounds like another language to me, but it's cool. Yeah,
It is.
that's it. But that's a positive. Something you can just sit there and go, just by sitting there.
Yeah.
But if she had sat at home, that would have never happened.
Mm-hmm.
That opportunity. So get out.
Yeah.
Human beings are not meant to be isolated.
Right. Not at all.
You got to get out. If you're going to be in the business world, I'm sorry, we are in sales. You can. I've heard realtors and lenders. We are selling. We may not be, selling door to door, but we are absolutely selling ourselves as professionals and the service that we provide.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't do a good job of that, that person will definitely find somebody else.
Yeah.
Who does it better. So get out.
Yes.
Don't isolate yourself.
And COVID did that a lot, I feel, for a lot of people.
Worse.
And then, so this is the other thing, sitting at your house in your pajamas all day, you're going to form up depression because you're not getting up, you're not getting dressed, you're not seizing the day. Seize the day, everybody. If you don't want to fall into depression in this position, in this line of career, get out of your house, like we're saying. Put your clothes on, get your best dress clothes on. And that's another thing Josh Altman said. He said, put your best suit on. And for us ladies, put your best dress on. Put some heels on. I can't wear heels right now, but put your heels on. Put a dress on, put your base on. And you don't have to wear makeup. I don't wear very much, but if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. It does not matter. What matters is you showed up, and you showed up looking your best. And that's what people are going to come and see. That's what people want. They want somebody that's sitting there looking their best, feeling confident. Because guess that brings confidence. Oh, we are out of time.
Woo, I feel good now.
I feel good too. All right, you guys go seize the day today, and I will talk to you guys next Wednesday.
Quit stressing out.
Yeah, quit stressing out. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.